Welcome to Creatively Exposed, a podcast and safe space for Black and marginalized creatives to empower, educate, and uplift you through the final product of self and creation. Bring a homie, share with a homie, and enjoy the show. Welcome back to Creatively Exposed, and we as in I, am here from Mama's house trying to get my life together, and so it's away from the studio episode. And this episode is brought to you by Between Magic and Dreams. It is available as a hardcover, paperback, digital, and audiobook wherever books are sold, Amazon, Audible, and you can check them out on all of the social webs, betweenmagicanddreams.com, Instagram, and Facebook. And the blurb goes, what if, out of the blue, you were saddled with a task that would most certainly ruin your weekend plans? What would you do if you were looked to the side at this very moment to see a creature of myth and legend beckoning you to do things that defy common sense? Quen finds himself in just such a predicament. Follow him on a journey that will either leave him twisting in the depths of oblivion or riding the winds of change, because as it turns out, we've never owned our reality. We're just renting it. So check out Between Magic and Dreams by Brian D. Covington, y'all. And this is my first sponsor since the beginning of Creatively Exposed. And check it out. Get something exciting for your reads today. And so, recapping last week, I am so grateful to anyone who listened. It really was an episode where I was really just venting because of all of the emotional heaviness that it is being a Black woman in this world. And just, yes, thank you. And y'all can totally probably hear my mom in the background. So it's part of the organic experience, ladies and gentlemen, and folks. And so I've been thinking about unlimiting our elevation. And this might be like one of those, magical, astrological, what have you episodes. So run with me, right? Pluto is going direct. What does that mean? It means that the planet of transformation, in all sense of the word, is going direct. So like healing can actually happen. I feel like it's been a very triggering year where you don't really, they're watching a show, y'all. Yeah. Where it's just been a lot of triggers, but not enough spaces to heal from. Not enough space to find healing in. It's been more like incensing, right? And so what do we need to release in order to shine, in order to thrive as Black and brown people, right? And I'm really it's been like one of those weeks where it's just been very exhaustive and frantic. And I realized, like, even in the overwhelm, like, there is the purpose of why I'm doing everything is becoming clearer. Why do I say that? I say that, all right, y'all. So if y'all hear clapping and yelling in the background, it's because they're watching like some face something in telemundo, the life. But even that, it's like life is it has so many moving parts, right? And in between all of the overwhelm has been this like anxiety and fear and worry and inability to create because I'm exhausted and not really knowing which way I'm going or if I'm doing anything right. And I've had these pockets of moments where I realize like everything is in divine order, even when it doesn't feel like it is. And there's still things like adding to the plate, and I'm worried, right? And I don't know what day it was, or even if I did the reading myself, but it was like either a meme or sometimes I send affirmations with my friends in the morning. And it's like, how can you hope for the best while worrying the whole time, or something to that extent? And I think that's really it. That's really the key is we create and we obsess over its need for perfection. And I think this need to control the outcome, the need for it to be this high standard of whatever, of excellence that we need it to be, is an excuse to be afraid of the possibility of being bigger than we could even imagine. And I say that, and it may or may not apply to you, right? But working so hard on something and rehashing it, there is this obsession that I have had with my work, and I'm nitpicking at it. But is it really the work, or is it really something that I'm trying to hide, unprocess, or not deal with? Right? Because that feeling of saying, I gave life to this project, to this poem, to this story, to this creation, and I'm going to put myself on center stage and be completely vulnerable because I can no longer tweak it and feel like I'm in control of this item that I feel I have authority on. It might be the only thing in my life I have authority on, right? But once we throw it out into the world and it becomes a thing of its own. What magic that is. And so I go into this like thought process in this whole thing because it's like I have been anxious about outcomes most of this past week anyway, and I wonder, and I even did my moon ritual of just releasing, because I feel like fear, anxiety, and perfectionism is a lack of faith in things working out. That's how I feel about my anxieties, right? It's not believing that these amazing things and feedbacks and opportunities will result if I don't control the outcome, which outcome, like, even if we controlled it, what actually happens is usually so much better than what we could have created. And so I say that because I'm literally probably beating it into your heads by now. But like, what if you fly and what if you fly and you see like a rainbow and the pot of gold and the sun shining, and you find, like, I don't know, Candyland or whatever, like Narnia or something. And like, that's where I'm at, you know. And it's really me talking to myself, like, what are we gripping so hard to? Why am I bruising my hands to hold on to these thought processes and these experiences that have already happened, and keeping them there as if this is the only way to exist and experience life? You know, there has been hard things. There has been these results that were undesired or unexpected. There have been things that people may call mistakes. And the only mistakes are the ones that I believe I did knowing that it was not correct. I'll repeat that. So just because an experience didn't result in how I projected and expected it to be doesn't mean it was a mistake. For me, mistakes are things that were done with the intention, knowing it was not the right path to choose, right? And how many times do we really know if it's not the right path unless we're not listening to our intuition? And we never lose. I think in life and experiences, it literally is learning new ways to pivot experience and become more fluid and mutable in our life, right? Less rigidity and more being open to the experience. I'll use the word flirting with the idea of a squishy life. At least this is what I've been telling my therapist, and this has kind of been the theme of, you know, I can be really rigid and believe that life has to be this certain, like, black and white kind of thing. But, like, what if the shit is completely rainbow colored? Like, what if it has all of these beautiful hues and I'm over here with a lack of color or an absence of light? Like, why limit my life for this need to be in this straight line when life is literally this, like, raggedy, undesigned roller coaster with no brakes? Because let's be real, sometimes you're on go and it's like, oh, this is really fast right now. But also, is life happening to me, or am I making turns that I'm guided by the universe to do? Am I in the car and actually putting the gas to head towards this unknown destination? Like, I have my desires, I have my dreams, but does perfectionism and worry get me there faster? No, it's the brakes to my goal. And so I've been really thinking about surrendering, but in a whole different, like, point of view, right? Perceiving that I am accountable with my life. I can create maybe some of the doorways where I enter this, like, path that is somewhat predestined, but it's up to us to open the door. And usually when it's scary as hell is usually a good idea for me. And I don't mean that it's like if it's unsafe or if it's this, you know, thing where your body is like you're not in a safe place. But when you're about to do that, like, next step, and you know that it might have two things: either you fall flat on your damn face, or you rise. And you have to grow into being